What's up, guys? Been a minute since I've made a video, but I actually just want to come on here and tell you guys, everything's been great. Um, as you guys know, about a month and a half ago, I was fired from my job. Uh, Extremely unfortunate situation, but you know, I have been making the best out of it. As you guys know, my two passions are music and cutting hair. I've always was intrigued with cutting hair and just getting into the process of becoming a barber. And one thing that I've definitely enjoyed about my journey is um, the quickness of my skill. I'm a pretty quick learner, and also when I'm very invested in something, I put my time into it. I put a lot of time into it. So I'm honestly, so I'm looking at videos probably about all day. Watching taper videos, mid fade videos, high ball fade videos. I'm trying to learn how to section hair. I'm also learning how to, trim hair, um, different hairstyles, coarse hair, straight hair, curly hair. No matter what texture, I'm just a student, and for me, I'm trying to be the best that I know I can be. And so with that, it takes a lot of sacrifice and time and effort to get to that point. And I pretty much, vowed to myself that in this field, I want to compete with the best of the best. I have always, especially in something that I'm into, I can get competitive. You guys know I play ball. I've once played ball at, a pretty high level. And I can tell you guys, you know, it's nothing more than, like they say, iron sharpens iron. So I'm in the shop with a bunch of, heavy hitters, and, it's making me better. It's putting me in a place where, I'm not content or, or just comfortable with what I'm doing. And me, I like to focus more on the quality of the cut rather than the time. Reason because um, what I've learned about people that make a shit ton of money is that they make it so easy for themselves. It's like, how do I find something so easy that I can do to make the most money out of it? And so for me, I like to spend more time on the quality of the cut. So I know that everybody's not gonna be my typical customer, but I know what type of business I want to run and the type of name that I want to make for myself, and that's more so the quality. So if I do get someone, I would say probably, I would start off with hour cuts. Reason being is because I like to take my time. I don't like to feel rushed, and I like to put my best work in whatever I'm doing. And so with 30-minute increments is kind of rushing, because going into a blend, going into fading, also getting all the hairs and everything to a the perfect length, and you're not gonna be perfect at it, but my uh, my whole spiel on it is I want the cut to be the best cut, because when people go out, the first thing they see is your appearance, and people look at haircuts. If your haircut matches you know uh, your features, also it's a well put together cut, people are going to ask about those things. People are going to be intrigued on, hey man, where are you getting your cuts from, and things like that. And I used to think for a while, why did barbers increase the prices and everything like that? And what you guys really have to understand is that, it takes a lot to really, and I'm talking about for people that actually enjoy, cutting. Think about it like this. Think about, you know, a, a artist painting a picture, and pretty much, you got this picture, but man, this picture costs about, $200. That person put the time, put their effort and everything, use their tools, their materials, use their talents and skill to put forth, that effort to make that portrait. And whatever he feels like that he sells it for, that's solely on him. Now, the other thing too is on whether or not people are going to, buy it and purchase it. And, to each his own. I used to really think like, man, why is people charging, 60, 80, 100, $200 cuts? And it's like, you value your time and your work for what you think is worth. And you are, some people have clientele where they're paying $200 and shit like that. Like, people are going to, do that because that's something that's important to them. And so if you think that your work is this, now I'm not saying this to, say that, hey man, you just need to, off the rip charge, 80 or 60 bucks. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that when you've been in the game for a certain period of time, I know some of these people, they've been in the game for years and they've perfected their craft to what it is today, to the point where people look at cuts and it's like, wow, like it's a very nice cut. And very nice cuts definitely can, it's a confidence booster. It's a, as they say, it's a man's makeup. And men like to feel good about their appearance, and even women who may get their haircut, they like, so that's why even if the pricing is maybe 30, 30 for a cut, they don't mind giving an extra 30, 40. Sometimes I've seen people give $60, bro, on cuts. That's just like, why would you spend $60 on a cut? But it's just the experience, and also it's what people think that, that you're worth. And so for myself, I know that's the place where I want to get to. I want to get to the place where, like I said, I want to work smarter, not harder. I rather cut maybe 4 or 5 people a day, spend an hour on them, and with tips and everything, I get a good reasonable amount of tips, and then also on top of that, I'm getting paid for what I'm doing with my cut. And I would like for people to look at my work and be like, oh yeah, man, that's nice work. Who do you get your haircut from? And then they get referred to me, and then at that point, it goes on from there. So that's the way how I want to run my business. Now, I'm not saying that you guys got to do this, but I'm saying this is just what I'm trying to do for myself. I want to be one of the best. And I think that the way that I put myself in that best category is that I have to scale. Now, me scaling and charging people $200 or $150 for a cut right now is not the best thing, because my skill isn't there just yet. But when it gets there, people are not going to mind taking out money. Same way how you guys go and buy a pair of shoes, some Jordans, or whatever the case is. That's how people look at haircuts, bro. People really enjoy, stepping out with a fresh fade, or, them getting a confidence booster. It's really like a confidence booster. And, some people, they come once a month. Sometimes they come twice. Sometimes people come every week. You just got those certain clients that are looking for that type of service. And when you can provide that type of service to people, it really upscales your business to a point where it's just like, man, I'm making all of this money and everything like that, but also along with it, I want to be able to have time to myself and also with my family. I want to be able to spend time with my son and do, other things, on my own. And so that's how I want to scale my business. And it's just literally the first month, and I think that I'm headed in the right direction. I also appreciate my mentor, Mr. Bobby. He's been a tremendous help for me. Just giving me, tricks and tips on, different techniques and everything. I'm really just like I said. I'm a student to this. Like I enjoy just like the science behind fading, everything about fading. Like it's just intriguing to me, and I just love doing it. I love cutting hair. I love, lining hairlines up, and it's always a learning process, because the thing about it is that through the experience you learn a lot of things. You learn about different textures, you learn about different hairstyles, you learn about how you need to cut someone's hair, learn about cowlicks, how to cut cowlicks, and things like that. Like those are certain things that just intrigue me. And as a person I've been stepping foot in the game for about maybe 4 or 5 years. I never really taken it this serious, to the point where my talents are now my livelihood is now depending all on my talents. And I'm pretty sure that's where a lot of people want to get to. And I will tell you guys another thing is that you can't rush this. You can't rush what God wants for you right now. If God got you working at a job that you really don't like, maybe it's just right now the time for you to be, focused on doing that. And then when it's time for you to go ahead and go do that, God will put it in place and things will happen. I unfortunately, like I said, when I lost my job, I wasn't sitting right here like I was literally sitting right here like, what the fuck am I about to do? Like, where am I about to do? Where am I about to go? Things like that. And so now it's just like, hopping on this barber journey has really opened my eyes to, you got to be real patient about this, and you got to have a coachable mindset about all of this shit, bro. You can't do it on your own. You're gonna have, sometimes, bro, you're gonna have to, have to take to give. You feel me? And that's just what it is. So, guys, I want you guys to know that whatever you are striving to do, whatever you want to do, you can do it. You just got to sit down and make a plan. And also, you got to have some key parts, and you got to have the motivation to drive the discipline forward. As long as you can do all that, you'll be good in anything that you do. And I promise you, if right now you're not satisfied for at what you're doing right now, the process, you shouldn't enjoy the results. You should enjoy the process, because the process is going to get you the results that you want. And when you always focus on the process, it's never a time where you get content and think that, oh yeah, I'm here. I can always get better at something. I can always, get better maybe at lifting weights, or maybe get better at knitting, or whatever you guys, really pushes you guys and wakes you guys up every day. I don't know what that is, but I can tell you right now, first and foremost, that once when you find that passion, once when you find that drive, and once when and you put your mind to it, bro, nobody can stop you, bro. And you have to it's not taking a risk, it's just betting on yourself. And that's all it is. It's not taking a risk. You're not gonna fail. As long as you're putting your best foot forward, that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. And yeah, man, that's what I'm on. So, I appreciate you guys still staying in. I'm definitely gonna check in with you guys on more videos and things where I'm gonna kind of talk about the different things, especially with mental health, and how I'm mentally processing all of this stuff as it goes on, because I'm still going through life too, and I'm human. And I'm not, a perfect person, but what I will tell you guys is that I'm very honest and I'm very upfront about things. I don't like to sugarcoat shit. I don't like to, make things seem, better than what it is. If it's that, then it's that. If it's not, then it's not. But I'm gonna let you know, like, hey, like, this is what it is. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'ma still keep dropping these videos for you guys, and as long as you guys keep staying positive and everything like that, that just gives me the motivation to keep making these videos. I appreciate you guys. We almost to 70 subscribers. And yeah, man, continue the journey, man. It's all love.